Okay. Alright. So, everybody. Alright, good afternoon. Okay. Now, this afternoon we're going to be starting in on our customary and the customary resemblances that goes at the beginning, the very, very beginning of the song. Oh my goodness, okay. Alright, so we have got all of the lyrics written out here and we've talked about them. Now, we're going to put a melody to them. Okay, we're going to be putting a melody to them. Okay. Never mind. But before we do that, I have some words to say to my Minton guest, who is not here yet. So we're not going to be doing anything, but we're going to be sitting here and I'm going to sit here and we're going to wait for the Minton guest, so that I can get through that, so that I can better concentrate on teaching all of you what we need to learn. Now, I remember earlier today, I remember giving Abby a couple of conditions when it comes to teaching the dance. Now, I want to hear from all of you how that worked out. What was the experience like? I want to know. Okay. Nerve-wracking. Okay. Wonderful. Yes, just one word. Exciting. Yes, it's, it's such a great pleasure. And I know that none of you are professional dancers. This Minton is not dancing students, and it's not a dancing competition team. And you're only doing it because, after all, our Minton guest is a dance teacher. So it would be kind of silly if we didn't, you didn't learn from her to understand how she taught and to try something new. And I really appreciate how open that you all were. I really have had hardly any complaints in the years gone by, any skepticisms going on with whatever we've done. So I congratulate you on your open-mindedness and your efforts. And that is the upside. And I don't think that it's what any of you could have done better. Because I could see that you were working your butts off. Working your little little tails off because you were so into it. But I think that all of you can tell the reason why I had mixed feelings about bringing her in to my Minton. I was super excited. I really knew what I was getting into, so this doesn't come as a surprise to me. At the same time, it does. It would be a very exciting opportunity and pleasure to get to meet her. After all, she is the star in the Dance Moms. Another side of me, why would you bring this person who treats kids this way, so tough, pressuring, and disrespectfully unfair and appreciative, into my Minton? And I decided, yes, I decided most definitely. And when she came in earlier today, I had all positive thoughts. I was super excited. And we listened to some music, did all of those types of things. And I am not a person that, goes into a dance rehearsal and interrupts a professional. And I want to treat her like a guest, because she is an Minton guest, and I don't want to come in and badger her for her teaching methods. I don't think that's very ethical. However, I'm going to have to. I am going to have to. What I've done is I've taken an Abby that seems older and probably learned from her mistakes, and I've reversed her, because if only that jail and cancer didn't happen to her, she would be just kind of like she is in walking and all that kind of thing. I didn't want that version of her. I was interested in a very particular one. And what I'm going to do, actually, is if I don't see some changes and improvements, I'm going to have to send this version of our Minton guest away. I'm going to bring in the new version, who there will have to be an exceptions made for the wheelchair, but I am willing to do those things. Those things are possible. We can make space for that. I'm willing to do that, because I think that jail and cancer might have, kind of taught a lesson a little bit. I still have a lot of sympathy, and I still really, really feel that is just unimaginable. I can't imagine the feelings that go into that kind of life experience, because it's so real that someone just goes in jail and then has this condition. And I really, and I think that we should all feel sorry for her, and I do. However, that version, because remember what we can do, that version will probably have to come here. Not the younger version of her, which is the one that I brought in. Seems pretty logical, born under an earth sign, so should be pretty practical and grounded, and I feel, like I'm fire. Nothing against that. But, and it's a professional that we're dealing with, and seeming grounded and kind and right-minded, saying things. But that, like the slightest thing, breaks that excitement, breaks that wonderful moments of sympathy that I have. And I think that my patience has been tested. My patience has been tested. Because I just want to tell everybody in the Minton that if you know the anger of our Minton guest, that was kind of the feelings that you all felt at moments. even the slightest things, I'm not going to tolerate it. Even, the feelings that you felt, tense, walking on eggshells, all of those things, that's what I felt when I was in 5th grade. When I was in 5th grade, I felt those feelings, and it feels like our Minton guest should have been my 5th grade teacher. Now, this resemblance will go on, and I won't allow it not to. And it is a negative one. In some ways, it is positive, but a huge percent of it is a negative. I am offended that someone would treat all of you that way. And you were in know for quite a while. I did not know what went wrong with our Minton guest today. Something gone completely morbid that I have never seen before, watching episodes and clips. Now, let me warn you that we have a machine to be able to do these things, to be able to reverse individuals back to a certain state, and that machine gets used, and sometimes it gets broken. We thought that the machine was working fine. It was working wonderfully. And sometimes, when it's not working cranky, it'll be like that person has been drinking, like that person is angry and mad and lost the mind and just gone insane, crazy. And the machine was not working well today. The machine was not working. Patience is tested and buttons pushed easily. Now, this is a regular person, but reversed back in time, and that uses a machine that we have to do that. And, those machines only work so well. And apparently the thing, some individuals, the guards today told me that the machine is acting a little funny. And I knew how Abby acts and treats children, and it's coincidence negatively why it had to happen to her. So that's just what happens. You may find it unbelievable, but that's just the truth of the matter. And I think that if it would have worked well, then we would have no problem. Because she seems like a pretty honest and pretty grounded, practical person. She's a professional. If it would have worked, I would have had no problem with it. I would have understood. But I am not going to be holding back. I am not happy. That's how the cookie crumbled today. It was acting up. It was acting weird. The battery was, it broke today. It exploded almost. Half exploded. And I was sitting over on the computer screen, because there are cameras that are installed that I put up there just to make sure of the machine. I was sitting there on the computer in that room, and I was constantly hearing screaming and yelling. I could see slapping of the face. I could see snapping right in that person's face. I could see, the whole picture gone insane. And I'm not going to put up with it. I'm not going to put up with it. And I don't know when that machine can get a fixed replacement. I really don't know. Because those things, when they break, they take a whole lot of time to get fixed. It is millions of dollars. It is millions of parts that has to be perfectly fit together. And when they break, then, and this is a new technology. Brand new technology. And someday it'll get figured out. Hopefully in my lifetime it will. But I don't think that machine can get fixed in time with the proper resources because of the pandemic, despite the germ killers, that it can be fixed. And I'm not going to have it go on. I'm not going to have it go on because they told me, be careful what you say because the slightest thing could get her roiled up. So, I am so sorry, everybody, that you were treated that way. And you know what? I am going to eliminate from the mention. Hypnotism will be reversed about coming here. She will be gone, and the current version will be arriving so that we do not have any more trouble. And she probably will come in and be sitting in a wheelchair. I just want you to all be prepared for that. And I will make room, everybody will make room for the wheelchair. It is no problem. I am willing to do that. I have no problem with the current person being in the wheelchair. I really don't. And plus, older, probably learned a lot from cancer and jail. So, that is what's going to go on today, because I do not have the positivity to run her songs. I don't have the heart to do those songs. The heart that I do have, however, is to express. Express. That's the word that I was looking for. Express means to express them against a person. Express. That's the difference between express and express. Express means to go with the person. Express means to go against, because they have SH at the beginning of words that, they only disagreement with. I know, but so that's what's going to happen. That is what is going to happen, and I am really sorry. I am so sorry, and I know that you were all training your brains to be optimistic. I know that your expectations and you were kind of uptight, and I'm really sorry about that. It is appalling that somebody in my mention, a guest in my mention, treated all of you that way. It is ridiculous. I am not going to tolerate it as an mention leader under the protection. And that's sort of why I have to debunk the astrology only a little bit. Sign might be Virgo, but it's way far off from being practical. And, I want to think, it's not just about this astrology. And yes, it really matters upon the whole chart as well. And there's also some influence coming from family background and just the person. Just the individual person besides the chart really has to do with it. And it's like doing it in the style that I would, but against, and not like the way that I would. I could have used and said and done all of the things that she did in agreement. And, it's only natural for you to copy individuals whom you see on TV that you just marvel over, they're doing it. It's just a natural inclination to, like I'm probably copying someone who I've seen on TV or a movie or something like that. It's just natural. So, that's what's going to occur. And she's going to be coming in here. And it'll be taken care of. So, I want you to sit here And I want you all to get out your presentations, and I want you to work on them to pass the time. It's absurd. It's ridiculous. And it's flat out disrespect. Flat out disrespect. And yeah, and I'm gonna knock it off. I am going to knock it off for her if it doesn't continue. So, it'll be interesting, won't it? Sometimes technology is amazing. Those machines were set up high quality, but nothing's perfect. Nothing is perfect. Even you guys. Nobody's perfect. Everybody has their flaws. And even the realistic Abby needs to understand and accept that. And especially the one that's been put on steroids and has been intoxicated while drinking. That's what happens to individuals rewinded in time when that machine doesn't work. It's a pain when technology doesn't work. But this is just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. This is just how it happened. And I'm really sorry for all of you. I'm very, very disappointed. Well, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you for coming here. Everybody really did a lot of hard work and effort and had a lot of fun dancing with you, right, everybody? Don't lie. However, they were trying to be really optimistic. They were being very, very open-minded. They were keeping their cool. They were not letting you break them down and push their buttons. And that's kind of why you'll hear it. Would have been nice if they would have been able to do it without you treating them in similar ways, over the top ways that you treated your own students. Now, when I'm talking to you, I need you to listen. You need to think about what I'm saying. Listening means not only hearing it, but understanding and comprehending it, considering, empathizing with it. And if you decide to talk over me, I'll just talk over you. I'll just talk over you. That's how it's gonna be. Because in the entire history of my whole Edmonton, I have never had an Edmonton guest disrespect my own students, tough on them, unfair to them, break them down, treat them that way. And coming from a guest whom it should be the opposite way. Never, ever, ever had that happen to me. I am appalled. I am humiliated. I am furious. I'm livid. I am livid right now. I could have easily gone in. You might not have the faintest idea what I'm going to talk about when I say this. I could have easily gone in there and interrupted you and stood up for everybody. But I didn't know that the machine that, here's a little trivial fact. You were transported from your current self back in the past through machine. I had no idea that was working. I found out right after that the machine was acting funny and the things were strained and everything broke. And when it broke, when machines break like that, you're on steroids, you're drunk, you're intoxicated, you're not in the right mind. You're driven crazy. Driven insane. And that's what you were doing, and that's what you were driving everybody in this room. I let me just say that I think that this is really obvious why I had mixed emotions going into bringing you here. I had mixed feelings. Half of me really wanted to. I would love to. It would be a pleasure because you were the star of the show. The other half of me was thinking, what are you doing bringing this person who treats children so tough, unfair, unequal, disrespectful, unappreciative, pressuring to my mentor. And I really am disappointed that it had to happen today. But you know what? It's not gonna be. Wait till I am done talking. Wait till I am done talking. So, you're done. You are not going to be here at the Edmonton, and you're not going to treat my students the way that you treated them. I'm sorry. I have to debunk the astrology, because you learned about that earlier, and it says right there. Even though you're an earth sign, you are not at all showing any practicality, groundedness. Yes, you show analysis and details and understanding those things, but that's not really an earth trait. Air to the earth. And you were wrong. What you said was mean, it was impulsive, it was hurtful, and it was just unfair. And you need to calm yourself down. You need to think about what you're going to say before you say it. Before you say it and do it. Get your mind right. If you're about to explode, here's a couple tips. Slow down, take a break, maybe even count to 10. That's another great thing to do. Come in cool, calm, and collective. And because you're the guest. It's coming from a guest. Treating my Edmonton students that way. You know what? Okay, well, at least you talked when I was done talking. Thank you very, very much for listening to me. And I hope that you understood what I said. And you know what? I'm just going to rehash this out right now. Because the newer you would probably be appalled by it. She would be just devastated, humiliated, disgusted, and furious, disappointed, just like I am. Okay. So, okay. No, we have a little secret in store. I have a little bit in secret in store, but yeah, I do. So, you want to do the Wither? You guys want to do the Wither? Get her resemblance in here so that I can conduct the resemblance prayer. Because you're acting like your resemblance. You are acting like my 5th grade teacher. It's turned above and beyond. You're out acting 1,000%, raising your voice, shouting at them tough and firmly. And I won't tolerate it. What kind of a person does that? Yeah, I believe in tough love, yes. I think that is perfectly practical and reasonable. But you know what an example of tough love is? The examples of tough love that you should pay attention to is the parents on World's Strictest Parents. That's tough love. but a volcano erupting loudmouth that you show that you are is way beyond tough love. It's cruel. It is cruel to those Amenton Estudiantes. And it doesn't need to be here. It does not need to be here. I don't need it. It's old now. It will forever be that way. And I think that I've lost my patience. After one time, my expectations were pretty high, intense, and I was pretty optimistic when bringing you in here. And I was questioning that because I knew, who you are. That was before I knew that that something went wrong. When I expect something negative, it had better not happen. It had better not happen. When I expect something positive, to happen, then it can't be the other way around. When I have doubts, when I have worries, better be flipped around. Otherwise, there's going to be prices to pay, heck to pay, and really trouble to face. Since I'm whisking you back now, I'm just going to tell you about your future. Don't you realize that? And I'm going to say this, and Amenton individuals, I hope that you're not going to think that I am not being sympathetic, but I'm doing this in this moment, at this time, and maybe that can provide some light and hope. Because I have a lot of sympathy, a lot of feeling and compassion and heart for this, and I feel kind of bad saying it. I'm going to put it out there, however. In your future, the version and time that you're in, because you're whisked back, and I'm going to wish you're going to be heading to jail for a year and a day, so quoted, for bankruptcy fraud. And then, right after that, a couple of days, you're going to be going to... Oh yeah, isn't it wonderful how clever we are at this Minden? How great technologically we are. We have so many things up your sleeve that you're